brain is not designed to seek truth. It's designed to reduce psychological pain. Cognitive dissonance is the mental stress that arises when a person holds two conflicting realities at the same time. For example, I am a good, rational person, or I support someone accused of serious wrongdoing. That tension is uncomfortable, almost physically so. And here's the key point most people miss. When dissonance appears, the brain doesn't ask what's true, it asks what hurts less. Reducing discomfort becomes the priority. Accuracy becomes secondary. You can abandon a policy, you can't easily abandon an identity. Donald Trump isn't just a candidate to many of the supporters. He functions psychologically as a symbol of identity, a defense against perceived cultural humiliation, a rejection of institutions that feel hostile or dismissive, and proof that people like me still matter. That means criticism of Trump is rarely processed as information. It's processed as an attack. And when the self feels attacked, the brain shifts into defense mode, exactly the same way it does under physical threat. This is why scandals that would destroy other politicians often strengthen loyalty here. Because the issue is no longer behavior, it's survival of identity. So when beliefs and reality collide, the mind doesn't surrender, it reorganizes. People don't usually resolve cognitive dissonance by changing core beliefs. They resolve it by changing interpretation. Here are the most common dissonance reduction strategies used by Trump supporters, and they are psychologically coherent, not random. 1. Source devaluation. The media is corrupt. If the source is illegitimate, the information doesn't count. 2. Moral compartmentalization. I don't like his personality, but I like his results. Character flaws are isolated and minimized. 3. Normalization. Every politician does this. The behavior becomes ordinary rather than disqualifying. 4. Persecution framing. They're attacking him because he threatens them. Accusations become evidence of effectiveness. And 5. Identity reinforcement. The more they hate him, the more I support him. Opposition strengthens belonging. None of these require dishonesty. They require psychological self-protection. Facts don't fail because they're weak. They fail because they're costly. High dissonance situations produce a counterintuitive effect. Corrective information can increase belief intensity. Why? Because accepting the facts would require admitting personal error, acknowledging misplaced trust, losing social belonging, and experiencing shame. The brain weighs that cost and says, no thank you, so evidence gets rejected. Not because it's false, but because it's too expensive emotionally. This is why fact-checking alone doesn't work, and why mockery makes things worse. When we confuse psychology for pathology, we guarantee polarization. If we frame this dynamic as stupidity, evil, or cult behavior, we respond with contempt. Contempt increases threat. Threat increases dissonance. Dissonance hardens identity. It's a self-reinforcing loop. Understanding cognitive dissonance does not mean excusing behavior. It means recognizing that most political conflict is driven by defensive psychology, not moral failure. Until we design political discourse that accounts for that reality, polarization will continue, regardless of elections, courts, or headlines. This isn't about Trump, it's about how humans behave when their identity is cornered. Cognitive dissonance explains why Trump's actions are to turn off for his supporters, but it also explains why none of us are as objective as we think. Politics didn't break the brain, it exposed it. If you want to hear more breakdowns like this, calmly, clinically, and without outrage, subscribe to Shrink the Nation.